Hey, it's Vicky, and today I'm here to share one of the first videos for my sort of end of the year / 2024 plans videos. In this one, I want to talk about the books that I have planned for my Revisit Remix project for 2024. This is a project that I started in 2023 where I took a look at my TBR shelf and the books that I had on there for at least 5 years. So for 2023, it was books that I hauled in 2018. If I still had them on my shelves, I had to read them this year, or I had to unhaul them if by the end of the year I didn't read them. So I had 4 books for 2023. 2024 stack is a little bigger, not by much, but it's a little bigger. And so for 2024, there are books that I hauled in 2019 that I now have to read at some point in 2024, or I have to get rid of them at the end of the year. So I'm gonna share them with you now, so let's get into it. So the first book for my Revisit Remix 2024 is Mys of AA by Arthur Golden, and this is a historical fiction, literary historical fiction, about a woman who is a geisha in Japan. I'm not sure of the time period or anything like that, but this is one of those books that I have heard about, seen everywhere, and I wanted to check out, and I still do want to read it. So hopefully I get to it at some point in 2024, otherwise it's gotta go. Next up is one that I think, if I had to look at this stack, is probably the most intimidating of them all. And that is American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. And I've heard that this is kind of a challenging read. And I picked it up because obviously I have seen the film with Christian Bale and I thought it was phenomenal. And so of course I want to read the source material. It's about a guy named Patrick Bateman who works on Wall Street, and he's a very privileged white man. And he's also a serial killer. And you really get into his mind and all of that. And so I still want to read it, but like I said, I've heard that it's sort of challenging, and I don't know if it's the writing style or if it's the subject matter or what. I guess I'll find out. The next one on the list is How to Build a Girl by Caitlin Moran, and the entire reason that I picked this book up back in 2019 was because it was pitched on the back as Imagine the Bell Jar, written by Rizzo from Greece. And it takes place also in the 90s, which is, you know, the time period I grew up in. And so, yeah, it's about a young girl named Joanna who is 14 years old, and she's just reinventing herself or trying to figure out who she is in the world and whatnot. So of course that appeals to me. It seems like it's gonna have some coming of age stuff. It takes place in the 90s. Bell Jar meets Greece. Then I have 2 books by the same author because I bought these books at the same time at a library sale. They are Kate Morton books. The first one is The Forgotten Garden, and this one, because Kate Morton's books are kind of always have the same setup. There is some sort of mystery that happened in the past that somebody in the present day is trying to figure out. And in this case, it has to do with a woman who, I think it's like her, the woman in the present day, it was her grandmother, I think, was taken in or fostered or adopted by these people in Australia because they found her on a boat or something like that. And she doesn't really know like her past, her family history. And so she's trying to figure that out. Where did her grandmother come from? Who were her parents and whatnot? So that's what this one is about. The other one is The Distant Hours. And this one, I think the story in the past is World War II era. And it has to do with 2, I feel like this is the one. I might be getting them mixed up. Yes, where in the present day, a woman goes to this castle where these 2 sisters live, and she gets to know them and hear their story, and their story takes place in World War II era or something like that. So yeah, Kate Morton's books are always they're always long, but not in a bad way. They're very like slow burn, and she really gets into the story and the characters, and I really do like to just settle into a Kate Morton book. So I'm not hating that I have to read both of these at some point in 2024. The next one that I have is Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfeld, and this one I found appealing because it deals with a inn that is near the River Thames, and one day everybody, like all the people in the inn, are sort of sitting around and just telling, you know, folk tales and stories, and in comes this guy, and he's severely injured, I believe, and he has this little girl in his arms, and they believe that she's dead. And then sometime later, she comes back to life, and so they're trying to figure out what happened to her. How did she come back to life? Is it a miracle? Whatnot. And of course, when she comes back to life, she cannot talk, so she cannot tell them anything, and they have to sort of figure out who she is, where she came from, all that stuff. So sounds sort of mysterious, sort of magical, so I wanted to check it out. And then the last one is an author that I have read some of her shorter things, like her short fiction. Never read a novel, and this one just sounds sort of appealing to me. And it's Joyce Carol Oates, and the book is We Were the Mulvaneys. This is about a family, the Mulvaneys, and I think they live in Massachusetts. Oh, no, maybe New York. Sorry, New York. And they live in a small town and in New York State, and they have a teenage daughter, and something bad happens to her, and it sort of shakes up the whole town, and it really puts a lot of strain on the family as they're trying to process it, deal with it, and whatnot. So lots of drama, family drama, emotions running high and things, and I tend to like books like that. And I think this also, I think the reason it was sort of on my radar was because, if I remember right, this was made into, I think, a Lifetime movie that I have never seen, but I remember like seeing it advertised or whatever. So maybe once I read the book, I can somehow hunt down and find the movie and watch it and do a sort of comparison, but we'll see. All right, so that's it, guys. Those are my books for the 2024 Revisit Remix. These books have got to be read in 2024 or they gotta go. So let me know down below which of these books you think I should try to get at first. Because there are, what, 7 or so of them? I lost count. I can try to maybe do one a month and hopefully finish it closer to the first part of the year, but we'll see. Yeah, so if you have any input, let me know. I would love to know. And I guess that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will chat with you soon. Thank you so much for watching.